What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful, illustrious sports world. What is a podcast without your brethren?
Yo, it's the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know your favorite podcast that you love to hate. With Talking Smoke. Also, we have Talking Smoke in the reboot process. Just give you guys the heads up. Definitely in the works of that. You can check the old episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Yes, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. It is I, the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And on behalf of me and my illustrious crew, we just want to say thank you so much for rocking with us. Please go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at IamSedacious.com. That's at IamSedataious. Let's go, bro. Oh, by the way, we getting money.
Shout out to our brother Sean Izzo. Hopefully he joins us a little bit later tonight on the pod. But not at full strength, but definitely
Even Bix.
right. Hold it. We're definitely gonna hold it down for our brother Sean Izzo. Getting to it, man. We getting deeper and deeper into the NFL season at the halfway mark. Um, a lot of different storylines to talk about this past NFL week, but we're going to start with none other than Anthony Richardson, second-year quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, quarterback from the Florida Gators. Anthony Richardson literally taps out on his team in the heat of battle. His reasoning for doing that is because he was tired coming out on the play in the middle of the game. Do y'all think he can come back from this, considering he's now been benched for Joe Flacco when he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback, but now he's benched for Joe Flacco, who's pretty much flirting with retirement. But yeah, him making his gesture, tapping out because he was too tired. Is this the end of his coach career? I know that may be, a bit much, but can he come back from this? Do y'all foresee him coming back from this, like, or rectifying this wrong, so to speak, this season?
Absolutely. We have to remember he's a young quarterback. Therefore, he's going to get treated like a young quarterback. Rookie quarterback. Well, technically, this is his rookie season, if you think about it. So he's gonna make a lot of different mistakes. Yeah. I know. But at the end of the day, it's more of you're gonna act like a child. I'm gonna treat you like a child. I'm gonna put the grown man in, i.e., being Joe Flacco. So I think it's just more of like, hey man, you're not too good for you to be replaced. Anybody's replaceable, and I think it's one of those moments. I don't think his career is over. He was very talented, in my opinion. I just think he's letting all the hype get to him to where he feels like he's has a little bit more leverage than he actually has. So.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, but I don't think he cannot come back from it because someone's gonna always need a good backup quarterback, even if he just doesn't decide to be someone's dependable number one.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about him come back to be a backup. I'm talking about him come back to still be a starter and a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, no. Everybody going for that because nobody want their locker room disgruntled and all disorganized. People gonna want a leader in that position, especially QB1. Like, come on now. But maybe he can mature. Never say never type of attitude. Maybe he can mature, and possibly maybe, but for the foreseeable future, no. Because nobody's going to want him as the leader of their quarterback as leader of their team going into battle.
I think this is only what he did. I think it is only acceptable if he has been playing great football. There's a leniency there to be like, you're playing great football.
Of course, you're tired.
We're winning games. You deserve a break in the heat of battle because you've been carrying us. You've been the workhorse for producing all this production for us on offense. I think that is the only out he had or grace he could be given in terms of, I'm tired. That's the only way. Outside of that, you can't be playing bad and unfortunately still be tired, literally taking yourself out of the game. I think about the Dave Chappelle skit, when keeping it real goes wrong. That is the epitome of when keeping it real goes wrong. Is everybody say, bro, you should have lied, said something else. You know, you may say you still had a nagging injury that came back after you got tackled, but don't say you was tired. You know what I'm saying? It could be viewed as a slap in the face to your teammates, your offensive line, all the other guys who are out there tired, fighting, scrapping in the heat of battle. And to me personally, how I took it is like, to me, it felt like for you to be like you're tired tells me you're not fully mentally invested into the game. Meaning, when in certain instances, when you're grinding and you're working so hard, you don't even have time to think about yourself being tired because you're so focused and locked in on the mission. And so, yes, Darnell, to your point earlier, I was screaming this at the beginning of the season, like he's really still on rookie reps as it relates to like him being a starting quarterback, considering he got hurt so early into the season last year. So all of these reps and this experience he's getting is still on like a rookie learning curve. But I don't care if they gave it to your navigation. Don't go there, bro, and say I was just tired.
I mean, also, so at the same time, though, it comes from that star treatment, that overly done star treatment of you're the man, we need you, we need you. And I mean, him going to the Colts franchise, them kind of in search of quarterbacks and going through these ups and downs and wearies in his head, he feels like I'm the best thing smoking in Indianapolis. You guys need me more than I need you. So if I say I'm tired, cater to my needs. Now, is that a true statement? Is according to the stats, according to your win percentage? No, no. You're not living up to that. Like you said, you're not carrying that weight of, oh man, we're doing all we can. I'm doing all I can for the team, and I've been doing. It's like, no, you had some highlights, you had some nice plays, but this is the NFL, buddy. This is not college no more. It's not high school. This is the NFL where everybody gets paid, everybody works hard, and everybody has to compete every single week, and there is no breaks. I'm tired. So I think it's just more of that, that mindset, and with that, I think that's just more of maturity, just like Live said. So I think it's something that he can bounce back within the season, honestly. I think it takes maybe a couple games to just show, like, hey, this is why I even said it. I think he's kind of a quarterback with a wide receiver's mentality. At least that's what that shows. Not saying that wide receivers would do that, but we know they're prima donnas. Throw me the ball, throw me the ball. That was kind of his throw me the ball moment of like, man, y'all need me. Do what I say. I'm tired. Give me some water, ball. Water, coach. Whatever. Give me some water. Whatever. So that's just how I look at it.
I don't think he earned any arrogance to be like, yeah, this is my team. I'm gonna do what I want. Give me a break. I don't think he earned that in no way, shape, or form.
Nah.
But
This was
Instagram's a hell of a platform.
What you mean by that?
You see yourself run over a linebacker or a cornerback or two, or throw a 60+ yard touchdown. It goes to your head. Like it's Instagram. Like it's I think I seen somebody said that a player at one point posted a clip at halftime despite they were losing, and I believe it was in the NBA. They posted a dunk at halftime when they were losing a game. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the life that we're living in now. So yeah, think about it. If he sees the highlights so many times on Instagram trending, he's like, man, I'm the man. Like I won. I'm the guy trending on Instagram. So I think it's just those little meticulous, feeding to his ego that he's riding off of and not seeing the bigger picture.
That brings me to another point I want to talk about with Anthony Richardson that nobody was talking about. I believe it was last week. He was being interviewed after a game, and or maybe it was just like the midweek, press conference. And he made a statement, paraphrasing, where he said he takes it personal, or he doesn't feel good when all it takes is one defender to tackle him. Like he feel like that's a sign of him, like of like disrespect or whatever. Again, paraphrasing or whatever, summarizing. It's just like if it only takes one guy to take him down or tackle him, he feels like that's not him being strong enough or whatever the case may be, right? And when I heard that, I was just like, I was like utterly appalled because it's just like you've developed a history of being injured and not being there for your team last year and now this year, and you still have the macho man ego, Randy Savageness of an ego to not understand you do not need to absorb any unnecessary hits. And so you're more concerned with trying to run somebody over in the heat of battle as opposed to protecting yourself. And you only get your satisfaction or get your ego stroked by having 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes try to take you down, risking yourself, therefore risking the probability of your team being able to win and you having longevity in this league. And so that was something else. A lot of people didn't talk about it. I was shocked that it went under the radar. But for him to have those type of comments, like, and then followed by this, I was just like, I don't know what y'all want from dude. I feel like dude is like either you give him the out that he's immature, or like dude just is like, I don't know if he's like, if this is like for him, or being, at least right now, being the number one or being a franchise guy is for him with that type of mentality.
You're not supposed to believe the hype, and he does. As the player yourself, you're not supposed to believe your own hype. You're supposed to just play ball, do your sport, do your job.
Don't get too high, don't get too low.
Mhm.
You're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. But yeah, man. Speaking of the word bad, our Houston Texans are in a bit of a predicament with injuries. Um, Stephon Diggs is out for the season with torn ACL. And this is coming at a time where when Nico Collins went down due to a hamstring, no need to panic. Why? Because Nick Casario, our GM, did a great job. Hey, Nico go down, we could be able to withstand that blow because we got Stephon Diggs. And now we are in arguably the most, you talk about arguably, maybe it rivals the 49ers with them losing McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk, and the list goes on with their injuries. But the Texans having arguably the worst luck in this season with their 2 top receivers going down. There's hope still for Nico coming back from a hamstring injury, but now we are without Stephon Diggs torn ACL for the rest of the season. Added on to that, the Texans have a they have to play towards the end of the season, their last 3 games. I believe it's their last 3 games, or just at the end, towards the end of the season, they have to play 3 games in 10 days. Talk about a time to pull in load management. uh, but yeah, the Texans are not looking good in terms of us being healthy. Part of winning a championship, a Super Bowl, having a deep playoff run is half the battle is being healthy. And we are not looking in a positive light as it relates to staying healthy. What do you see our future considering our current circumstances right now, Black Peace?
Hey, Baylin.
Right.
Sorry to honestly, man, I'm speechless, man. We were already trying to develop a offensive chemistry to a high impact level, and we were taking baby steps. Uh, and I feel like right now, man, We need our stars to star. That's the best thing I can say. We need Tank to step it up a lot. He has had a gruesome start, in my opinion. We need Schultz to double down, triple down. We need Mixon to keep up the good work. Um, we need the defense to definitely buckle down as well, man. Uh, we just need the team to band together at this point. I feel like we took some heavy blows. Both like both receivers is out is crazy, guys. Like my faith is running thin, but due to the culture we have established in just a year, we can still we'll know by Thursday. We can still be able to like make a possible run. I just say it like that. Not too confident about it, but I think we can still make a run. Mm.
You don't think the Texans is on a run right now?
Um, Statistically, yes. But not in reality of football. No, we're not on the run at all. We haven't been all season. I think our best game was against New England, and yeah, we have not. And then New England and Chicago. Granted, Chicago's over 500, but New England is I think only one game this season.
What's the Texans record? They're
We're
not
5-2,
4-2?
6-2.
6-2. But no, but what I'm saying is the struggle to get up that mountain has not been easy and has not been confident. Like we had some flashes of it, but it hasn't been consistent. It's not. That's why I feel so hesitant in the way I'm speaking about it because it's just like guys, like we've been winning these games by the hairs on our chins, most of them,
We're,
and
we're
now we're in a position. What's up? Take away, please.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna add real quick. We're 6-2 and 3-0 in the division.
Yeah, we've seen stranger things flip, so that's why I'm not trying to be overly confident, So I'm just being real about it. Like I said, we were if the injuries didn't happen, man, we were well on our way to making a championship run. But due to like the injuries and the way we struggled at the
Oh,
beginning,
okay, okay,
it's
okay.
just
I
been
get
tough.
you now. I get you now. I get you now. I get you. Because I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. But well, now when you say championship, now I totally get what you're saying, bro. Because I'm like, nigga, the Texans, their division, right? Their division with, let's say, them winning a wild card game, they can still very well do that right now, in my opinion, with that quarterback and the offensive scheme that they have and the defense that they have. They win one wild card game. I see them maybe being eliminated in the whatever that next game is, right? Because nobody in that division is finna touch them. And so the worst is a wild card game. CJ and whomever, you know what I'm saying? Is how I feel. It's really next man up as long as you got CJ in my mind. And that's how they look, and they play complementary football that wins them games when it's time to win them versus losing them now. And that formula I see week in and week out. Even when they play somebody. I forgot who they play. It was who they lose to?
We lost to the Vikings and the Packers.
The Packers. Both of them. Both those teams. Even when they play both those teams, you can see. But I get what you're saying, though, because it can seem scary without having those two dynamic pieces there. But I feel like watching them, and as far as what they are up against in their division and how it could all play out and then winning a wild card game, I say it's still not time to really panic yet for the Texans, if you ask me. And you see this
The
star behind me? I know about panic. So
the to me the separation from the best receiver to the next receiver is very wide. Nico and Diggs have literally been carrying the offense in every game in the very big wide spread compared to the other receivers. That's what bothers me. It's like I'm not challenging necessarily CJ. It's just like the way they have produced. It's like,
I
bro, they've
feel
been
you.
literally carrying the receivers, in the production, targeting, targets, receptions, and it's just like
All they got to
the
do is
other
get open.
targets are
I swear, all I got to do is because Tank Dell can get open, and let's say, because I see it being the Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz show.
It can happen. That's what I say. It can happen, but those two particular players have struggled.
And y'all still got Joe Mixon and Damian Pierce. So
the Texans with Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs out, the Texans remaining receiving core: Tank Dell, Xavier Hutchinson, Robert Woods, John Michie III.
Oh yeah,
Steven Sams, as well as Dalton Schultz and Stover.
Robert Woods is a veteran. Y'all got a vet, man. Yeah, y'all good. All CJ need is a rotation, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And I feel that I'm not doubting that. It's just like we're not much from last year at that point. Other than our defensive step, a stronger defense. Like, bro, we need like I'm trying to be in the championship. That's the thing. Like, I'm not just gonna have a cute run.
We're gonna have to lean on our defense. Guys are going to not drop the ball as much. Not saying they have. It's just like our margin of error has shrunk immensely, not having Nico and not having Stephon Diggs. So guys have to play that much that much sharper, less errors. Again, just like we don't have a wide margin of error anymore. Like we're already up against our luck. Our luck is running out with injuries. So we just need to have to be as crisp and perfect and take advantage of every opportunity we have on the field. And again, we have not a home stretch, but a game span where we have to play 3 games in 10 days. The Dolphins, who now have Tua back, as well as the Chiefs and the Ravens. So it's like that's a gauntlet for it's looking scary right now. Like I'm not hitting the panic button. Right now, but yeah, it's definitely looking real scary for us right now.
Who they play next? Who they play next?
Next we play the New York Jets. We should win that game. I would be very mad if we don't win that game on Thursday.
Oh yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah. That shit, I'm very mad that if y'all don't win that game, come on, man, stop it. If y'all don't win that game, it's gonna be because Aaron Rodgers pulled a good game out his booty. Pause. That's the only way y'all don't win that game.
They're just not a competitive team.
They are a competitive team if Aaron Rodgers can pull a good game out of out of his bag. Other than that, no, because the Texans play better, more complimentary football than the Jets do.
You got to go back. Just been losing, if that makes any sense, dog.
They just been losing.
They just like that's a big thing. Like you can still be good and lose. I know it sounds weird, but
you can still be good and lose, but you have to also think too. Like I don't think, like hypothetically, if we went out there and our offense struggled on Thursday, that is to be expected. Hoping it don't. Obviously, we don't want it to happen. But if the Jets get the drop on us because our offense is struggling without our top 2 receivers, like it's like you're supposed to beat us, Jets. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is a time right now for us to land on our defense, right? Hoping our defense could like hold up for us. And I mean, also too, pressure make diamonds. So we may see CJ turn over a new league. Don't want to hit the panic button completely, but this may just be an opportunity for CJ to rise to the occasion and be like,
bruh,
I can work with whatever y'all give me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, bro, we finna see some Tom Brady sheesh. Watch.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
for it, bro.
Can you catch a ball? Great. All right, run this route. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
So yeah.
I didn't even know that Stephon Diggs was out. I just seen that he was injured, and I wasn't even worried. I was at a customer's house watching the game with them, and they were Texan fans, and I saw he was hurt. I wasn't even worried. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Fairbairn, he always he Mr. Reliable, but once you give CJ that week. In my mind, I feel like once you give him that week of preparation, and he gets together with his OC, and they get their game plan, bro. He's I like. He's dynamic, and that you can't. That's something that you can't never really count out for real, if that makes sense. That's like that Michael Vick type ish. You know what I mean? It's like not even. It's When you seen it in a minute, when you seen it like that in a minute, since like Patrick Mahomes, right? But yeah, that boy bad. That boy bad.
All right, man. So still sticking with the NFL, per request, not on the rundown, but apparently it's definitely on his heart to talk about it. I try not to put it on you because I know sometimes you get tired of having like the redundancy of like the Cowboys lost, the Cowboys lost. But this comes as a special request from yours truly, Sedacious. So I'm interested to hear about what do you have to tell the people for the weekly state of the address of the Cowboys Nation, man?
Let me just say that we are about 2 weeks in. 2 weeks away from where it ain't gonna matter what we do. We gonna suck, and this is not gonna be our year. Let me just say, Jerry Jones is giving me Vince McMahon vibes, and I don't appreciate it.
What you mean?
I feel like Vince McMahon would do anything for the business. And if it's not his way, it's the highway. And it ain't always about change and progress. It's more so about, the bottom line, the dollar, right? And so I don't know, man. I don't know what about Dak Prescott's career that has said to us that he needs to set the tone for how much quarterbacks get paid. But okay, right? And I feel like the only people in the world that do things like that are old and senile people, right? So I'm like, okay, I can't be tripping. And then his son, Steven, is like, well, bro, if you didn't been sipping off the tit your whole life, why would you feel the need to say anything about anything at all, right? But even him, he's older, right? I just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I hate riding and dying, and it's mostly dying instead of riding. It's just like, what do you do? But of course, we're riddled with injury right now. That's never an excuse. That happens to teams every year, and it should be a next man up. But the thing is, when your next man up aren't of caliber, what are you to do? So we're 2 weeks away, Cowboy fans, from the Cowboys sucked last season. You know what I mean? So that's all I just want to say. I want to get that off. I already know that we in the slums right now. I want to point at Dak Prescott, but I got it 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Because I already knew the defense was going to suck. I'm going to stop blaming the defense. At this point, Dak, you should already know that your defense is going to suck every year for the rest of your career, and you need to pull us out of these holes, and you need to just go ahead and go win the Super Bowl. Your career ain't set up for you to have complimentary football to win the Super Bowl. You got to find a way to be Peyton Manning, and it ain't looking good for you. So go figure that out. While Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson run amok in the NFL, you go figure yours out, right? Why are we paying you as much as they get paid?
So you said that you said that they have 2 more weeks, and then in those 2 weeks they play the Falcons, and then they play the Philadelphia Eagles. Like you need 2 wins, you need them to at least go 1-1, or is it more so about like an eye test for you in which you just trying to like see some type
No,
of
we need 2 wins, and it's really the Philadelphia game itself, because if we can't handle Philadelphia at the end of the season, it will be Washington and Philly duking it out to see who goes seed, who goes wild card. That's how it'll be. That's already how it's looking.
right now. Commanders 6-2, Eagles 5-2, Cowboys 3-4, Giants 2-6 in the NFC East. But the way the Commanders look, I don't think y'all are. It's so funny because like when you talk about respecting the game, you could get on here and talk crazy as if it's already the end of the season, and the end of the season come and things look 1010% completely different, right? And you have to answer to whatever you say now, i.e. Texans. Like obviously we look good, but we wasn't winning and leading the division the entirety of the season. We came and stole the division from the Jaguars, and that was just a culmination of just taking it week by week by week. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to write. I know right now it's easy to write y'all off, but for the sake of just respecting the game, I still feel like you still have to like see the entirety of the regular season through.
No, me personally as a Cowboys fan, I don't. I've watched this story too many times to know when I see, because it happens all the time. It's a pattern. The first 6 to 8 weeks of the Cowboys schedule, they either lose they either lose these games to good and bad teams, or they just beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams. Right? It's a mixture of that. But see, the thing is, it never mattered if we would lose to the good and bad teams, or if we would beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams. It never mattered, because as long as we can handle our division, we were okay. Those days are come and gone. And so now, if we can't handle Philly, if we can't finally top Philly, which it don't look like, then it will be up for grabs for the Commanders and the Eagles. And that's just, I'm not like these other Cowboy fans, bro. I know, I've seen the story. I know how all of the story goes since the Romo days, and it's been the same. And it's crazy. I'm starting to feel like a fairy came down and spoke to Stephen A. and was like, "Yo, bro, these Cowboys ain't gonna never be nothing ever again." You can
It's like it's almost like it's not trolling anymore. He's just like a prophet.
Right. Yeah, bro, like, he's predicting the future. It's like, their team is stacked. Oh, they're still gonna lose. It's like, they're gonna find a way to let you down. They still gonna find a way. Damn, Stephen A.
Real quick, Amari Cooper, you was right about him. First week you would like to believe, in the first week you would like to believe when he got with the Buffalo Bills, his first game, 4 catches, 5 targets, 66 yards for a touchdown. That would appear to be a great sign if you are maybe in fantasy and you got Amari Cooper, but following week, this past week against the Seahawks, 1 reception, 2 targets for 3 yards. I'm gonna play this real quick as a flashback for the people out there real quick.
Which I give him away for?
Amari Cooper soft, bro. Amari Cooper on the Cowboys would either be the decoy for CeeDee Lamb or get catches and reps because CeeDee Lamb is being blanketed.
You don't think he a true number one?
Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
No, not me personally, no.
Oh, you crazy. Just say you a butthurt Cowboys fan.
All that's good, but when you soft, it don't matter. Bro, if you lock him down first part of the first quarter, he's out of the rest of the game. He's out mentally. I've seen it happen.
That's what he did on your Cowboys.
That's what he does, bro.
How do you know? Like, what is it that you see in the first quarter that allows you to know? Because this goes into like betting now. Like, I don't know if our brother Sean Hart gonna get on, but now like this goes into like surgical picks of people being able to bet second half over or under on Amari Cooper props. And you seem to be the Amari Cooper whisperer and know how his season is going to go from the very, like, you know how his game is going to turn out from the very first drive is what that clip said to me. How do you know? The people want to know.
I'm gonna say this, like, because I don't really like to gloat, but my favorite position in football is the wide receiver position. That's the position I played. I've always loved it. I've always loved the glitz, the glamour, the glory of being a wideout, right? So though I'm now older to where I can see the game in its entirety, I'm always more so keen on not wide receivers, especially, but quarterbacks and wide receivers, simply because that connection is very important. And so to tell how good a wide receiver is, you also have to look at the quarterback. To tell how good some quarterbacks would be, you got to look at their wide receivers, right? So it's like a tandem in that. And I just can see I guess what the regular eye isn't looking at when it comes to you getting off the ball aggressively. You know what I'm saying? If you get off the ball and you get a good route and you don't get the target, he don't put the ball there, or he don't see you, are you going to run that next route just as good as you ran the last route? And is every route going to be as explosive, right? I'm looking for these things. I'm looking for if the cornerback is getting in your shit. You know what I'm saying? Are you letting him talk back to you, or are you getting back at him? Like, is you Justin Jefferson this nigga? Or, you know what I'm saying, what is you doing? Right? And so when the name was thrown up, like, I wasn't even trying to talk about this guy. You know what I'm saying? I guess something about injuries or trades, right? They made a trade. And it was like, Amari Cooper, are we serious? Did he not go from the Raiders to the Cowboys to the Browns and now to Buffalo? And we're saying he's a number one receiver? And that's like saying Odell is a number one receiver in Miami right now. Like, come on, bro. I get it. They're good.
He went to the Ravens?
Who?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper went to the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I believe he started with the Raiders, traded to the Cowboys, Browns, not Buffalo. Yeah, and I watch receivers and I watch where they go. And I watch, how they produce when they get traded and are implemented into different systems. And another thing to watch too is if these wide receivers got enough dog in them to go up against these defensive coordinators, because you ain't going up against the person next to you. Yeah, on a few plays, yeah, you are. Maybe half the plays of that game you are, but that whole game you're going up against these defensive coordinators. You're going up against these defensive back coaches. That's who you're going up against. The technique that they're being taught versus the technique that you have. I'm watching all of this, and for me, Amari Cooper had his glory days. He had his prime. He had his good years. He had the days where he was giving defensive coordinators a hard time. Those days have come and gone. It is what it is. It happens with everybody. It happens with Howard Ward. It happened with Julio Jones. It happened with Deion Branch. It happened with Wes Welker. It happened with everybody, bro. Just is what it is. Your boy, what's your boy on Seattle right now? Lockett. Tyler Lockett. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a number one, but come on now. Amari Cooper, I seen it, bro. I seen it. And I'm like, yo, what is Amari Cooper doing? But it's okay because I don't know the whole situation, bro. Because I don't know. Because in my mind, when you go from the Raiders to the Cowboys, it's like, okay, I don't know why you so good, but you got traded. But okay, let's see. He was good, but then I started to realize his mental was not there. And that's when it was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Why everybody's like, oh, why would they trade Amari Cooper? They so stupid. I'm like, no, y'all must not be watching Hard Knocks. If y'all was watching Hard Knocks, y'all would have seen. He wanted no more parts of Trevon Diggs. He wanted out of there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, man. Hold on. I don't know. Black Peace, you still there, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay.
But, you know, as the saying goes, any given Sunday, bro.
Hell of a movie.
Right.
I'm just messing
LL
around.
Cool J. Well, LL Cool James and LT and Jamie and Willie Beeman. Willie Beeman.
All right. Real quick, I get you out of here on this day. Talking about the Cowboys, staying in the NFC East, and also talking about the AFC South with our Houston Texans. Jayden Daniels is absolutely balling. I do not think in anybody's universe, stratosphere, rookie of the year is close. Offensive rookie of the year is close. And similar to CJ Stroud's rookie season, Jayden Daniels is in the talks for NFL MVP and maybe even argue at the head of the MVP race more than CJ was. That being said, all things considered, through the first 8 games of their rookie campaign, who do y'all think has been the better quarterback between CJ Stroud and Jayden Daniels through the first 8 games of their rookie season?
I say, for me personally, I've yet to see enough for real. But since we got to go with AJ 8 games, the first 8,
I say that I know we have to let the entirety of the season play out.
Yeah.
Just as of now,
Yeah.
Jayden only has 8 games under his belt.
Right. But it's like almost like, well, let's put the respect on CJ that he deserves first to say that there's still some way to go. If your trajectory does look good, right? We say you look good, but let's just put the respect where it's supposed to be. But I'm still gonna answer CJ simply because the Texans, they were not supposed to be that good. And they were that good because of him. Jayden Daniels, like everybody in the NFC was expecting Jayden Daniels and Dan Quinn and that defense over there to do exactly what they are doing now. Because again, everybody was wondering why your boy got shipped out of there and got shipped over to wherever he play at now. The Eagles, right? And I'm like, nah, because the Commanders know what they're doing, bro. They know what they're doing. As soon as I knew Dan Quinn was leaving from being our defensive coordinator to be their head coach, I was like, oh, yeah, it's over with. It's done. Because if they gonna play for him, how he had our defense playing for him in Dallas, oh, this is done. This is over with. So because of that, and DeMeco Ryans was a first-time head coach, Dan Quinn took his team to the Super Bowl, and he lost, of course. Everybody knows about that. And this is now his second outing as coach. And so he came in this role ready to go, had everything where it needed to be. And for them to draft Jayden and to put him there, you know what I'm saying, that was just like they struck gold and it all kind of came together. The way it moved for CJ Stroud moved that him and him only, in my opinion. But the boy is balling though. He is. Yeah, and that Hail Mary made me answering this question way harder.
Yeah, man. So through the first 8 games, Jayden Daniels has a 6-2 record.
Wait. Can I give a little brief before you do the numbers so I can feel confident on how I feel? I have to give it to CJ only because CJ was the beginning of a franchise. This was I felt like Jay McDaniels was a strong missing piece. I feel like the Commanders wasn't a bad team last year. They lost a lot of games, but they wasn't a bad team. I feel like Heineke was their quarterback, and I
Yeah,
mean,
and he was
you know what I
dogging.
mean? You know
He
what I
was
mean? Like
dogging.
they gave good fights. They just didn't win games. And I feel like Jay McDaniel was a strong piece, and it was just more of like, okay, now you got a strong piece. You technically had personnel. You were trending in the right direction. We need to adjust this, adjust that. The Texans were just down bad, in my opinion. And they needed, and it was like we didn't even expect. I didn't expect us to even make the playoffs last year. Like, we wouldn't like. I was just expecting us just to trending up. That's all I expected to see, just to trend up. No, we made it all the way to the playoffs, past the wild card. So, with Jay McDaniels, respect to him, man, and plus he's a little bit more versatile, to where I feel like CJ is a pocket quarterback.
Gang, gang.
The stats for Jayden is gonna look better for him because he can run. So I feel like he's going to have so many rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, combined with passing touchdowns, which makes it just looks a little bit more fluffed than what it actually is in reality. I think they're both great quarterbacks. I just think CJ slightly edges Jayden by a hair.
So both of these guys' situations are unique from the standpoint that when they came in to their rookie seasons, the previous year, they were last in their division, right? Texans were last. CJ come, they go 10-7. Last year, Commanders 4-13. Jayden Daniels is there now. They're 6-2. Good trajectory to win the division at the end of the season. First 8 games, Jayden Daniels 6-2 record, 1,700 passing yards, 70% completion rate, pass completions, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, rushing over 400 yards with 4 touchdowns, and he has a total of 11 touchdowns on the season, his first 8 games. One more time. Jayden Daniels' first 8 games, 6-2 record, 1,700 passing yards, 70% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions passing, and for rushing, he has over 400 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns and a total of 11 touchdowns through his first 8 games. CJ Stroud, his first 8 games, 4-4 record, 2,200 passing yards, a 62% completion rate, 14 passing touchdowns to 1 interception, just 1 rushing touchdown for a total of 15 touchdowns. If you ask me, granted, Jayden Daniels has the extra boost because he has the rushing and running capability.
Right.
And what has made him great, and the reason I'm going to say he's having a better campaign than through the first 8 games, a better campaign than CJ Stroud, is he's been able to show a as perfect as you can get it balance with passing and with running, and being able to do both with the pieces that they have around him. I think he's like flourishing. This team and like also too with the division, our division ain't as great as the NFC East. The Texans, the AFC South isn't as strong as the NFC East. So considering he's at the helm of that division compared to a washed Jaguars team, a washed Titans team, a washed Colts team, that is highly impressive. That is even if it is to be expected, it still takes a lot to still go there, perform, and make it happen, right? Like just because it's expected don't mean it's supposed to be easy to do. And so for him to be getting the job done with both his legs and his throwing capability, we all know how much I love Houston, how much I'm a diehard Texans, Rockets, Houstonian fan. But the numbers, 1, 2, the record, 3, the division, and knowing that the all of that success can be attributed to him and his greatness. And obviously you can say the same for CJ. With the record and the numbers, I'm gonna give that slight to Jayden. But we have, and like, am I crazy? Do y'all feel like I have recency bias because I feel like his MVP chances are like a bit more closer to happening than CJ's?
No.
I want your
like
Texans card back.
Bias? Huh?
I want your Texans card back, sir. I need a mail back to my address within 3 business days. We're discussing your contract with the Houston Texans.
You went with the stats.
It's very disappointing.
You never go against the stats.
I know, bro, but
you got a problem. You need help.
And bro, and it doesn't bother you that he's already in a. You don't think that his position is a better position than CJ was in? Like going into it, like rookie quarterback, rookie coach, rookie receiver. Your top receiver has not quite shown his abilities quite yet, which being Nico Collins. We know he's good. We didn't know he was this damn good. Like going into the season, like we didn't expect that. Jayden McDaniels, like I said, when I seen that, I was like surprised nobody was like pointing it out. Like, hey man, that team can make a nice little run, or he should have a good season. Because like I said, if Heineke was doing decent, and I mean, where is he now? Like that's
but to a degree, I hear what you're saying, but to a degree, all your record 4-13 is 4-13. Like you can't take 4-13 and be like they was almost there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to a certain extent, that's how I felt about with the Lions. When the Lions, before they had the season beforehand, I was like, bro, they looked good. They just kept losing. They just kept losing games. It's a lot of those games they could have won, but they just kept losing. And then what happened the next season, which is last year, they won a lot of those games. They had missing. They figured out, okay, we were that close. All we need is maybe adjustment here, adjustment there. We can be there. They say, NFC Championship. And that's how I feel about with them. It's like, bro, all we need is just like the right piece. Oh, right piece is there. Oh, we could probably win some of these games. And that's how I feel like it went. With the Hail Mary, if they would have missed that Hail Mary, they would have been 5-3, which is still a good record. But it still just shows you like those missing pieces, those little itty bitty up and down games. Like they actually they won one of those up and down games or those chance games. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, his record is what it is, and he earned it. But it's just like he's in a better position. He was technically in a better position. Like same running back. The receiving personnel is technically the same. So I think 1 or 2 receivers left at that.
But so you still gotta perform though, dog. Like I can't.
It's true.
I can't take. I don't want. And I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'm just saying me personally. I don't want to take away from his greatness solely based off the premise of like, well, you're supposed to be doing that, or like that's supposed to, because like look at Caleb Williams, and in the offseason, how much people talked about, wow, they're doing so much to help Caleb Williams as opposed to like the type of help they didn't give Justin Fields. Caleb Williams not balling, considering all the help and the pieces and the moves that they made for him. So you still have to go out there and perform to a high level to make it look like the GMs to a degree did the right thing or knew what they was doing. And also too, I'm not saying he's ran away with it compared to CJ in their first A game. I'm not saying that. It's a nip and tuck. Obviously, CJ, you can make the argument, hey, Jayden has the capability to run and throw, and CJ still with his arm has more touchdowns than him through their first 8 games. So like I get that, but just in terms of it being able to all translate to winning 6-2 compared to 4-4, and knowing that like it's not a fluke, it's you the real deal. Like I'm gonna reward the winning more because that's ultimately like what the game is all about. And
I think for me, if I can interject, I think what's being underestimated, and for real for me, is the fact that CJ didn't have as much as Jayden as far as the coaching and the system that was there pretty much waiting for him. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what type of system that we was going to get from the Texans.
Real quick, this is Quinn's first year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And like, bro, like their situations are damn near parallel. Granted,
No.
don't have the same experience.
That's what I'm saying. When Dan Quinn brings a culture. We don't know. D'Amico Ryans doesn't bring a culture. They create that culture as their, you know what I'm saying? That's like a put together and took off. And all of a sudden now it's a culture in Houston. You know what I mean? I don't feel like Jayden Daniels is creating a culture in Washington that wasn't there. You know what I mean? I feel like CJ and D'Amico Ryans,
our culture never left. It just died down. Like I don't think like CJ not doing nothing. CJ, it's not. Is CJ coming in give us like a breath of fresh air? Yes, but we were accustomed to winning even when we had Deshaun. Like I feel like what you saying is like he's giving us
all
like
that Deshaun, Bill O'Brien, all of that. None of that was culture. None of that was the culture that it is now, bro. None of that. This CJ, D'Amico, Tank Dell, Nico Collins culture before Stephon Diggs. This is a whole different regime from anything Bill O'Brien or Deshaun Watson ever put their hands on. This one right here, like this seems like something that we've been missing. The Texans been missing since 2002. You know what I'm saying? Back when we was founded. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, okay, now it makes sense why we did what we did back in 2002. This looks like it makes sense. Because, okay, Texans, y'all got y'all money. And now behind the Cowboys and the Steelers, they are maybe the third grossing franchise or fourth. I'm not sure. But now that they got the money, it seems like they're focusing and the culture is on winning games and complimentary football and defense.
I got you, man. I'm still a diehard CJ fan. Just specifically,
I get where you at because the numbers don't lie, right? I get you. You a stat guy, and the stats show a story as well.
And I'm also weighing winning on a heavy, like I'm giving that a lot of weight on the scale in the comparison as well.
Well, I mean, think about it too. I mean, what were the teams that CJ went 4-4 went as compared to the teams that Jayden is going 6-2 with? You know what I'm saying? Because the AFC always been slobber knockers. So if CJ going up against AFCs and he going up against NFCs, then now we got to see, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot more nip and tuck, like you say.
Yeah.
We can respectfully say it's a close race, guys. I can definitely.
That's like, yeah, it's definitely a close race. When it's a photo finish, I'm not saying they didn't got him by a landslide or any of that. I wouldn't dare do that. Like I respect CJ. He's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But But yeah, man, I just found it very interesting how similar their rookie campaigns have been, from turning over teams who were, like I say, bottom of the division. They're turning the team around. And, Jayden has turned the team around early in the season, whereas again, like the Texans, we didn't overtake the AFC South till like much later on into the season, coming in, new head coaches and so forth. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was a great conversation. Yeah, man. NBA has been good. We're gonna spare y'all on that conversation and come back next week as we get more games up under our belt with the NBA. But yeah, man. This is what you call a great episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We do not take y'all listening to us for granted. Make sure y'all go follow us at our Twitter handles and social media handles down in the description box. Shout out to our brother Sean Izzo, who wasn't in the building with us tonight, but make sure you follow him. This is the Respect the Game podcast. Thank y'all for listening to us. We will see you beautiful people next week.